Welcome to the summer edition of DIY Mom. Over the next 2 episodes, my backyard will undergo a revolutionary revival. Our backyard is barely used because we don't have access to it from our current deck. Not to mention, the grass and garden is overrun by goutweed. I want to make the most out of our yard space by creating a family-friendly design that is low in the maintenance department.
You mean another renovation?
We're doing another renovation, yeah.
Well, we already did one in the attic.
I know, now we're doing a second renovation in the backyard. Isn't that amazing?
We need a new deck.
We are. We're going to have an extra deck. We're making an extra deck.
Our dog pees on it and poops on it.
Well, not anymore, because that's why I'm building it so that there's stairs going down to the yard so we can have like a place for the dog to pee and poop that's not on the deck.
Okay, so here's the plan. I want to increase our outdoor living space by building off the existing deck. This will double our usable yard space as well as create privacy from the neighbors and the perfect amount of play space for Lennon and the puppy.
Everything's different.
Everything's different? Is that okay?
I think we should change our whole house now. Except the couch, so it's new.
Yeah, we can't replace everything right now. We just replaced everything 3 years ago. We're trying to make improvements.
And the chalkboard is getting dirty.
Well, what we'll do is we'll sell the house and then we'll move to a new house and do a whole new house over again.
Can we do a fancy house?
Is this house not fancy enough for you?
Well, I guess our humble home doesn't measure up to Lennon's standards, but nonetheless, it's time to kick off this backyard reno. And the first thing we need to do is level off this ground because it dips down quite a bit in the back. We want to bring the earth up and have more usable space in the backyard. Once we get our landscaping situated and our landscaping fabric down, then we can start building onto the back of the deck. And I want to make sure that I have zero maintenance, which means I have to get rid of all that nasty goutweed that's been growing from every direction. And the only way to get rid of goutweed is really to just to put heavy-duty landscaping fabric down and rocks. I just don't want to have to deal with it anymore. With my homemade goutweed killer sprayed and my landscaping fabric laid, we're ready to receive the gravel. We want to get as much of the hardscaping done prior to building the deck to minimize the mess afterwards. The backyard landscaping is really rolling along now. We've got the clear stone underneath the deck, the crusher dust by the play space where the astroturf is going to go, and now a whole bunch more landscaping material was delivered by Home Depot on the weekend. So we've got 8 big bags of soil, mulch, river rock, all ready to go back in the backyard. Ow. It was cold a minute ago, now I'm hot. One down, no more to go. I gotta hire somebody to do this. It's crazy, there's no osteopaths over right now. I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna DIY it, I'm gonna YDI it. One lesson I've taken away from all my years of renovating is that my health is the most valuable thing that I have. So sometimes it's just not worth putting my body through the strain. Now that there's a big square gravel pit in my backyard, it's probably a little bit easier to imagine what this backyard space is going to look like and where the new patio is going to go. So there's going to be steps all the way across the back of my deck going down to a second platform. It'll create an infinity deck look. So when you step out the back porch, it's almost like you're just looking out into this green space. And once things open up and we're allowed to have friends over, we can really enjoy this garden oasis that we're creating. With my backyard a blank slate, I'm bringing in Stefan, a seasoned carpenter, to help see this construction project through. But first things first, we need to discuss my design. For the steps of how you're going to do this, we're going to put the steel pile posts in, and then you're going to build this part, and then we're going to do the steps going up,
yeah,
and then take off the railings.
What I may want to do though is just cut myself a test stringer to see where my height needs to be close.
And the stringers are the things that come down that you cut into.
Yes,
okay.
And they have to be 2x12s.
Okay.
But I just want to make sure that we're not backing ourselves into a corner where it's like this deck is way too long underneath these, or way too far out, and then we have to change the stringers.
Right.
We don't want that.
Right. I've got lots of design ideas, but I'm not always equipped with the knowledge on how to make them happen. So it's really important for me to team up with the right people to help my visions come to life. All right, so now that we've got a plan, let's get Pro Posts here to install these steel pile posts.
What's happening outside right now?
Well, they're making a big hole.
They're making 6 big holes.
Wait, so you could actually fall in there?
No, they're gonna fill them back in.
But Mom, is it gonna be a very big hole?
Well, did you see the hole that they had the steel post in? See, there's like a long post sticking out of the ground?
Yeah.
And then that hole, and then they filled it back in with the rock and the dirt. And then those are called steel pile posts, and they're very, very strong so that the deck can be built on top of it and it will never move, no matter what the weather. We'll always be safe when we're on the deck.
Was there any rocks that made it not move there?
They had to dig out a few big rocks, I think. I saw some big rocks that they dug out.
Whoa. Did they find any animals?
No, they wouldn't find any animals. Maybe just some salamanders or some worms.
Salamanders! Well, the salamanders eat worms, so.
Bill from Pro Post Foundation is here, and I had 6 of these steel pile posts put into my backyard yesterday. And now when you look back at my backyard, it doesn't really look like it was disturbed.
These are called helical piers.
Yes.
Screw piles is another name
Yeah.
for them. That post will carry about 7,000 pounds. So you need a significantly larger piece of concrete to support the same load.
Nothing pleases me more than speed and efficiency. These helical pile posts were a solid decision. With the posts buried deep in the yard, the lone wolf returns to frame up the deck.
Rebekah has me here to do an addition to the existing deck. The thing that makes this one a little unique is that normally you're starting a deck from a blank canvas, so to speak, but with this one we're tying into an existing deck. So we're kind of working backwards, if you will. Like everything is going off of these stair stringers to accommodate the planter boxes that she wants, and everything's brought up to that height, and everything will flow from the staircase to the new addition of the new deck. Hopefully the goal for today is to get our joists down, cutting stringers, and then tomorrow we'll start laying our decking.
Doing it yourself is much like being a lone wolf, but sometimes a little help can go a long way, especially when it comes to speeding up the process.
Stefan likes to work on his own, so his company's called The Lone Wolf. He's out back right now working away, but I've been sneaking in every once in a while to try to help him to move things along because you can move a little bit slowly when you're just one person doing a big old deck like that.
With pressure-treated wood being in high demand, it's important that we don't waste a single board. So Stefan and I came up with a plan to minimize the offcuts.
We were going to have a lot of offcuts if we decided to do a picture frame like down the middle of the deck. So instead we're alternating the boards as we go to use as much of the wood as possible so we don't have a lot of waste. And that way we won't run out of wood and we'll have a little bit of extra wood for another project once we get the deck installed.
Our new platform is built so we can connect to the upper level. For the infinity look I'm going for, my steps will run the entire length of the patio. Once the stringers are all cut, they need to be properly secured so we can lay down the steps and the risers. I'm a firm believer in preventative measures, so when Stefan had some expert advice, I was all ears.
This is like some kind of tape that protects the wood from rot on the wood that's cut so that it keeps it from rotting fast. And I've never really seen people do this until Stefan, but Stefan likes to do things the right way. So.
To keep my backyard budget on track, we're reusing the existing railings.
The railings up top are coming off and getting moved down to the bottom, so now we've got that open feeling on the deck that I'm going for, which I'm really excited that this space is going to be more usable as of the end of day today, so that's pretty exciting. So only a few more things left on our to-do list. We've got to secure these steps, install the railings around the bottom deck, and then put together our hemlock planter boxes. I guess I said just a few things, but yeah, there's still kind of a lot of stuff left to do. I don't know, what did you say, Stefan? It was like you got a second wind?
I got a second one, yeah.
All this hanging around with a lone wolf has got me thinking about the ecosystem that I've become a part of.
Whoa, it's like mud in it and everything.
And more importantly, what critters I share it with.
If you put his hand in your little, little thing in there, really munch it, really bite it.
I have 4 squirrels that have dug into the soffit of my house and they are nesting in there. And they're nesting inside the soffit in my house and I keep trying to fill the little hole, but they don't ever all leave 4 at once and it's been really hard to catch them. So my dad brought over the squirrel trap. Keeps going in, but it's not closing quickly enough. If he goes in it again, I'll reach over and hit the thing down. I'm shaking. I got him. Hi, bud. Sorry, buddy. You're going to Point Pleasant Park.
Looks like this crafty critter has made its last escape. It's on to greener pastures for this little guy.
Yeah! I miss it so bad. Oh, I can want to walk.
There he goes. Unless the other guy's trying to chase him out here.
He's like, what?
With my squirrel problem solved, it's time to get back to renovating this deck. But you're gonna have to wait till the next episode to see how it all comes together. The next episode of DIY Mom starts right now.